fẹ́ máa wò, ọ̀rọ̀ tó jẹ tí ń gbèsè mo fẹ́ gbọ́. Ètò lóríṣiríṣi wọ́n wà lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan, ìròyìn tó kojú òṣùwọ̀n àtàwọn ọ̀rọ̀ àgbọ́ fi kọ́gbọ́n. Eré wọlé fún tẹ̀rù tọmọ, tèwe tàgbà ẹ má fi para. Ewagbo TV mo fẹ́ máa wò, ọ̀rọ̀ tó jẹ tí ń gbèsè mo fẹ́ gbọ́. Ètò lóríṣiríṣi wọ́n wà lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan, ìròyìn tó kojú òṣùwọ̀n àtàwọn ọ̀rọ̀ àgbọ́ fi kọ́gbọ́n. Eré wọlé fún tẹ̀rù tọmọ, tèwe tàgbà ẹ má fi para. Àjànàkú kọjá mo rí nǹkan fèrè, bàbá rere káwí parí. BGI TV, we are the pace setter. Bàbá gbàgede ìmọ̀ tẹlifíṣọ̀n station tí dòde.
Ó kí gbogbo ojú tó ń wò mí káàkiri ayé, mo kí wa lọ́kùnrin lóbìnrin lọ́mọdé lágbà nínú ilé yìí, mo kí wa wípé a kú dédé àsìkò yìí, àsìkò bójú ọjọ́ ti rí ẹ̀ẹ́dọ́dún bí bó ló ti rí lọ́dọ̀ ti yín. Mo kí gbogbo kìrìsìtẹ́nì káàkiri ayé, mo kí wa wípé a kú pọ̀pọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ ọdún ìyàbò lágbára Ọlọ́run. Mo sì kí àwa tá a jẹ́ mùsùlùmí náà wípé a kú gbádùn ọlùdé kò ní jáṣe mọ́ fún wa lágbára Olódùn ọba òkè. Ó yá, ẹ wá nǹkan fìdílé tàbí kẹ́ fìdílé nǹkan kẹjá jọjẹ gbádùn ètò tá a gbé wá sójú ọ̀rọ̀ yín lónìí lórí ètò tí a pè ní ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń lọ níkànnì BGI TV bàbá gbàgede mọ̀ tẹlifíṣàn, ìyẹn lórí YouTube, tá a sì tún jẹ́ gbàgede mọ̀ wíta láwùyé adébáyọ̀ lórí Facebook, a wà lórí Instagram gbàgede mọ̀ _22, àgbẹ̀yìn o lórí TikTok, bàbá gbàgede mọ̀ là ń jẹ́ lórí TikTok. Ẹ sáàsáàchì fún bàbá gbàgede mọ̀, ẹ rí wa bẹ̀ láìfàdà rẹ̀. Gbogbo news wa ó wà ń bẹ̀, bí ó tiẹ̀ jẹ́ full àti tó máa post full news ẹ máa rí bẹ̀ náà lágbára Ọlọ́run. Ó yá, ẹ wá nǹkan fìdílé tàbí kẹ́ fìdílé nǹkan kẹjá jọ rìnrìn àjò ní pápápá. Lónìí part 1 part 2 òní fídíò tẹ́fẹ́ wò yìí, inú ẹyọ kan náà ní part 1 wà, inú ẹ̀ náà ní part 2 ẹ̀ wà, torí pé ìròyìn ayọ̀ wà ń bẹ̀ dáadáa tó ń fún wa ní hope wípé at least bóyá ọdún mẹ́rin tí gbogbo fẹ́ lò bóyá ọdún mẹ́jọ ni ìyà tó ń jẹ wá lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí tá a sọ pé ìjọba ẹ̀ fi jẹ wá yìí, ìjọba ẹ̀ náà ó ti ń ṣe correction yẹn tá a rí gbádùn bẹ́ẹ̀, pàápàá jùlọ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ epo. Ìdùnnú wà lórí, good news wà lórí ẹ̀. News náà wà lórí chairman wa pátápátá, Mr. Chief Honourable Professor Emelefuemele Elelelefiemele Emefele. Ọ̀rọ̀ wà lórí tiẹ̀ náà, méjèèjì náà la mẹ́nubà. Ẹ wá nǹkan fìdílé kẹjẹ àjọ bẹ̀rẹ̀. Ó yá, ẹ jẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ látòrí good news tá a ní ọjọ́ Àlàmísì tí mi bá ṣí, òun la kọ́kọ́ rí wípé wọ́n fi léde, ṣé Yorùbá ní adájọ́ má sí asọ̀rọ̀máyẹ̀, bírú ẹni bẹ́ẹ̀ bá sọnù wọn ló yẹ ká wá ni. Àwọn ìjọba tó wá, àwọn ìjọba tó ti ń wá láti bí 90s ni wọ́n ti kí ẹ̀ lórí rìfánárì wa o. Àwọn ìjọba tá ti ní láti 90s náà ti kí ẹ̀ lórí rìfánárì pé káwọn tiẹ̀ ń gbà tí rìfánárì yẹn function dáadáa, kò sí overhauling, kò sí repair, kò sí pé bóyá kán maintain ẹ̀, wọ́n ṣà ń lò wọ́n gbádùn ẹ̀ ni. All of a sudden refinery park wọ́n wá try ẹ̀ látàyè Ọbásanjọ́ gbìyànjú ẹ̀, ó ṣe kìíní ó lulẹ̀, ó ṣe kejì ó lulẹ̀, ó ṣe kẹta ó lulẹ̀, ó ṣe kẹrin ó lulẹ̀. Kò sunkún lórí tẹlifíṣàn o, àmọ́ kò ṣiṣẹ́ ni. Gbogbo refinery wa mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin kọ̀ wọn ṣiṣẹ́ láyé Ọbásanjọ́, despite billions tí wọ́n ya mark pé kí refinery yẹn lè ṣiṣẹ́. Àwọn tí wọ́n gbowó wọ́n dà sápò ni. Àwọn kàbá wọn jẹ́ kó ṣiṣẹ́ ńgbà yẹn. Ok, Ọbásanjọ́ try tiẹ̀ kó ń bẹ̀. Yar'Adua ikú ò jẹ́ kó ń gbádùn obì tó gbó tiẹ̀, ìyẹn tètè kó. There comes Goodluck Jonathan bọ́ síbẹ̀. Òun náà kọ́kọ́ gbìyànjú ó ṣe kántánkántánkán, ṣùgbọ́n láàrin ọjọ́ mélòó rìfánárì ò ṣiṣẹ́. Buhari náà tún dé, òun náà lérí, ó léka, ó lẹ́sẹ̀, ó lé ọrùn, ó ní rìfánárì wa máa ṣiṣẹ́. Kan náà ní o, kan náà la padà já sí, rìfánárì yóò ṣiṣẹ́. Àwọn tó ń fà tí wọn ò jẹ́ kó ṣiṣẹ́ làwọn tí wọ́n rí jẹ nínú màdàrú kí petrol máa wọ, kí rìfánárì má ṣiṣẹ́ Nàìjíríà. Àwọn tó jẹ́ pé tí ò bá ti ṣiṣẹ́ ìdùnnú dé bá wọn ni, àìṣiṣẹ́ rìfánárì tiwa rọ̀ṣọ̀mù ń dé sápò tiwọn, torí páwọn aṣọ páwọn import epo wọlé wọ́n á sì gba subsidy lé lórí. Wọ́n jẹ́ kí rìfánárì yẹn ṣiṣẹ́. Wọ́n fi ìgbésí ayé ọmọ Nàìjíríà wọ́n fi ta kite, wọ́n fi ìdùnnú mẹ̀kúnnù wọ́n fi ta kite. Nígbà tí Tinubu dé, ọ̀dọ̀ Buhari ó gbìyànjú pé kí rìfánárì yẹn ṣiṣẹ́ lásìkò tòun, wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ renovation yẹn, ṣùgbọ́n kò ní mínì. Nígbà ayé Buhari òun náà gbìyànjú gan, pàápàá jùlọ ní Port Harcourt refinery, bẹ̀t kò yọrí sí rere, kò lójútùú tó fi lọ. Tinubu dé láàrin oṣù mẹ́fà, ó ní rìfánárì yẹn ṣiṣẹ́ by December, ó sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ní May sí June. Ẹsẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ Ọbásanjọ́ àtàkì ẹ̀ pé láyé rìfánárì yẹn ò lè ṣiṣẹ́. Wọ́n dẹ̀ dọ̀básanjọ́ lóhùn pé ṣé ìwọ jẹ́ ẹnjìníà ni tó fi mọ̀ pé rìfánárì yẹn ò ní ṣiṣẹ́. But to our dismay, gbogbo ọmọ Nàìjíríà ẹ jẹ́ ká gbàgbé pé bóyá torí pé ó jẹ́ Tinubu, mi ì fi pọ́n Tinubu lé, but mo fi fún wa ní good news ká mọ̀ pé lágbára Ọlọ́run the storm is almost over. Torí kìí ṣe Tinubu nìkan ni rìfánárì ẹ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ o, ti Dangote náà ti ṣiṣẹ́ mọ́. In fact, as a matter of fact, ti Dangote ti gba second delivery báyìí, gbogbo ẹ̀ náà láfojú ara wa rí. So kò ní yà mí lẹ́nu tó bá dọ̀la tíjọba bá àdírẹ́sì Nàìjíríà, ìyẹn lọ tó bá ní New Year, tó bá sọ pé wọ́n reduce owó epo, inú mi á dùn, inú gbogbo wa dùn. Á dẹ̀ rí pé nǹkan á tún wálẹ̀ díẹ̀ sí i, because every economy now based on the petrol. Nǹkan tá a rà wọ́n náírà tẹ́lẹ̀ ó ti di 10 naira, pàápàá jùlọ tó bá ti jọ mọ́ iná pọ́nlọ náà. Only títí December Port Harcourt refinery á ṣiṣẹ́. Ọ̀dọ̀ gbogbo àpọ̀ tá a deny ẹ̀ tá a dá òtẹ̀, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ dá òtẹ̀. Èmi sọ fáwọn èèyàn pé ẹ̀mẹ́lẹ̀dẹ́ jẹ́kẹ́lẹ̀dẹ́ pẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́ ṣe bó ti promise wa pé rìfánárì àṣìṣe ẹjẹ́ á máa wò, but to our dismay a rí pé wọ́n jubilate pé rìfánárì yẹn ṣiṣẹ́. Kódà wọ́n ṣù ẹ̀ bí wọ́n ṣe tanná sí, bó ṣe tanná bó ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀, and they were jubilating. Ó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ operation, àdúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Ti Dangote náà, ìyẹn náà tún gba second delivery bí eré rìfánárì méjèèjì, private and government méjèèjì ń ṣiṣẹ́. Tí wọ́n bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní refine epo Nàìjíríà, I believe drastically that petrol will come down. Kí petrol come down làdúrà tèmi, torí pé owó tán kẹlẹ́ o. Petrol tá a rà ní 500 600 tẹ́lẹ̀, kí á ló fò lọ 17,000. Èyí tá a fi 7,000 rà tẹ́lẹ̀, kí á ló fò lọ 80 something thousand. Níṣà ìlú, torí tá a máa lo petrol, ẹ̀yìn èèyàn wọ̀ lórí wa wò kedere. Ó ní sí Logun State ó ti ń lọ ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì tá a ti fojú kan iná gbẹ̀yìn. Àárọ̀ yìí ni mo rí pé àwọn 33 kVA ti ní, ó kà wá tó kù. Wọ́n ti tàn sí 33 kVA for the past 2 weeks, wọ́n tanná fún wa. Àárọ̀ ìnáṣẹ̀ṣàn tán àwọn tó jẹ́ pọ́n wà lórí 33 kVA, àwa tó kù à ń retí kí iná ṣẹ̀ dé. Ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì yẹn ó ti níye millions tá ti ná ń bí lórí petrol nìkan. Tí rìfánárì bá wa ṣiṣẹ́ tó lọ ń bá ní òṣìṣẹ́ lóòótọ́, kán máa refine epo Nàìjíríà. Ìdùnnú tèmi ni, màálù tó súpà, ìdùnnú alápàtà ni. So torí tó bá ṣiṣẹ́ sí owó díẹ̀díẹ̀ la máa fi repo, á tún reduce expenses wa. Gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n jìyà epo káàkiri Nàìjíríà, àìmọye businesses tó ti pack off, gbogbo wọn á tún ṣí padà. Àìmọye àwọn small scales tí wọ́n gbọ́ tó jẹ́ pé electricity yẹn ni wọ́n fi ń ṣiṣẹ́ wọn, hairdressers, tailor, barber. Christmas ló wà ní festive period. Ẹni mélòó ló lè afford di epo 600 per litre láti fi ránṣọ? Ìlú náà fẹ́ gbà lọ́wọ́ àwọn aláṣọ, lọ́wọ́ àwọn tó gbàṣọ fún wọn. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ní òrìṣẹ́ ọdún ṣe. Bọ̀tí rìfánárì ìbá ṣiṣẹ́, ìdùnnú ló máa jẹ́, nǹkan àtọ̀ ẹ̀tún rọrùn díẹ̀. Tó ìdùnnú yẹn bó ti ṣe ríre o, ẹja lọ wò.
On board a naval boat, journalists from different media organizations embark on a sea voyage. The over 1 hour journey on the Atlantic Ocean is destined for a large vessel, MT Otis, which just arrived from Bonny Terminal. It's the second voyage of the vessel to the Dangote Single Point Mooring SPM. The vessel has on board a cargo of about 1 million barrels of crude set to be discharged to the Dangote refinery.
We're receiving the second consignment of crude.
The managing director of Dangote Port Operations speaks more on the latest crude delivery.
They're being sourced locally. They're from the first one that came was from Agbami. This is coming from Bonny Terminal. We have another one coming from Odudu Terminal. The management of Dangote is also very eager to make sure that the refinery actually begins to churn out products from the refinery. And I believe that that's the essence of all of this. We're trying to demonstrate that the investment that have been put into this project is a worthy investment, is a patriotic investment by the president of the Dangote Group, and I think we really need to commend him.
Dangote Refinery also assures of security of its offshore facilities responsible for conveying and discharging crude.
Security of the maritime domain is the exclusive responsibility of the Nigerian authorities, and particularly the Nigerian Navy. And as you can see, we have the presence of the Navy here, and we have their patrols 24/7 around the facility and within the corridor, Lekki Port corridor here.
The refinery operations have been long in coming amidst expectations from Nigerians to have more petrol and other products of crude oil from the refinery. 3 more cargoes with approximately 3 million barrels of crude expected to be discharged at the SPM before the end of 2023.
Congratulations. 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 Well done. Good job. Good job. Good job. Congratulations. 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 Congratulations, my friend. Well done. Good job. Good job. Good job. Congratulations.
ló bá dé níbi ká ṣètò òwe ìrìnnà láìsí kọ́nu ńkọ́. ọ̀gá ni Fox Excellence Able Travels and Tour Limited. ṣé wọ́n ní ẹṣin tó ṣíwájú ni ló gba fe. ká ṣètò òwe ìrìnnà lọ sílùú Mecca òun Jerusalem. ṣètò iléègbé lókè òkun. iṣẹ́ kíkọ́ kíkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lókè òkun. pàápàá ètò fún wíwọlé sílé ẹ̀kọ́ American University Mauritius. fún diploma 2 to 4 years degree program àtàwọn ẹ̀kọ́ míì. tó o sì lè lò láti parí ẹ̀kọ́ rẹ ní USA, UK, Malta, Philippines, Italy. níbi táwọn ọgbà ilé ẹ̀kọ́ wọ̀nyí wà. Fox Excellence Able Travels and Tour Limited ló ń bá ní ṣe é nírọ̀rùn. wọ́n gba òǹtẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ ìjọba pẹ̀lú àwọn àjọ tó ń rí sí ìrìn àjò ojú òfurufú. wọ́n ti ṣe é fọkàn tán. ìgbésẹ̀ wọn yára kọ́kọ́. kàn sí wọn lónìí lólú iléeṣẹ́ wọn tó wà ní nọ́mbà 23B Shokeni Road, Òkè Ìjẹun, Abẹ́òkúta, Ògùn State. ẹ tún lè kàn sí wọn ní www.excellencetravels.com.ph tàbí kẹ́ ẹ pè wọ́n lórí àwọn ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wọn. Philippines +639 693 550 167. Mauritius +230 584 620 96. ẹ sì lè kàn sí wọn lórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ ti Nàìjíríà +234 905 505 2472. Fox Excellence Able Travels and Tours. Àràbà ni bàbá, ẹni abálábà ni bàbá.
àdúpẹ́ o àti ti Port Harcourt àti ti Dangote kí méjèèjì ṣiṣẹ́ papọ̀ ìdùnnú wa ló máa jẹ́. Ó tiẹ̀ tí n kò jẹ́ pé ti Dangote yẹn náà according to ògbóǹta gbọ́ tẹ́mẹ̀fẹ́lẹ̀ náà dánwò mẹ́ ó fẹ́ jẹ́ ti Nàìjíríà náà ni, but notwithstanding ètò tí ẹ̀ka wá sìn ò ní pé kí méjèèjì sáti ẹ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ papọ̀. Méjèèjì bá ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ tán ti ń refine epo Nàìjíríà ti Kaduna náà ló kàn tó tún fẹ́ ṣe kán ṣe yẹn náà kí yẹn náà ṣiṣẹ́ kán tún ṣe ti bòmí kó tún ṣiṣẹ́ ká tó mọ tó ṣẹlẹ̀. At least á tiẹ̀ sì gbádùn tẹ́nà Tinubu yìí pé kí rìfánárì yẹn kó fi ṣiṣẹ́. Báwọn gíríngorì bá dẹ̀ máa dé tí wọ́n tún máa wá dàrú àṣìṣù àbọ̀ ṣe ń dàrú bọ̀. Mi ò fẹ́ fi gbogbo ẹnu sọ, Yorùbá ti mọ tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ sáwà, ẹ jẹ́ ká bẹ̀rí ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀. So àdúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Now kí ló fà gan tí Nàìjíríà fi wà bá ṣe wà? Kí ló fà tó fi jẹ́ pé àwọn dáadáa tá à ń rí lọ́dà countries tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́dà countries, àwọn development activities tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́dà countries, kí ló dé tó jẹ́ pé ó wà undermined ní Nàìjíríà tiwa? Why? Kí ló dé tó jẹ́ pé gbogbo ìdùnnú táwọn èèyàn rí ìlú òyìnbó tán lọ Nàìjíríà náà ò lè dà bẹ́ẹ̀, kò lè dà bẹ́ẹ̀, àfi kó lọ ṣàánú. Ṣé ẹ rí àwọn tí wọ́n ń kó owó wa jẹ corruption kò lè jẹ́ ó dà bẹ́ẹ̀. For example ẹ wo tepo yìí, ṣé báwọn kan náà mọ̀ báyé rìfánárì jẹ́ kí rìfánárì wa bá má ṣiṣẹ́ káwọn lè máa rówó subsidy gbà. Gbogbo gọ́fíńmẹ̀ntì tó ti wá tán ti ń try láti túnṣe, kí ló fà tí ò ṣiṣẹ́? Títorí wípé àjẹbánu corruption ni. Káwọn kan ṣáà máa lówó lọ, káwa kan ọlọ́màjì àkúṣẹ̀, ọlọ́màjì àjìyà, àwa tá a jẹ́ màkúnnù tá a sí láàrin wọn. Àwa tá a jẹ́ mẹ̀kúnnù tá a sí láàrin wọn. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wá ní òyìnbó ẹ mọ̀ gbogbo different amenities tẹ́ gbádùn lọ́hùn. Although ẹ san tax, but ẹ rí value tax tí tẹ́ san. Iná wà ṣàdúẹ́ndì, omi wà ṣàdúẹ́ndì, ẹ rí iná lò, ẹ rómi lò, ẹ rí gbogbo nǹkan lò. Kódà ẹni tí ò rówó ra mọ́tò ń bẹ̀ bóyá ló suffer because metro bus, metro train gbogbo ẹ̀ ló wà ń bẹ̀. Láwọn countries tẹ́mi ti lọ o, béèyàn ní mọ́tò kò lè mọ̀. Bó ní gan ngbà mí àrùn kó páàkì sílé because kò fẹ́ẹ̀ sí yàtọ̀. Èló ni metro bus ń gbé, èló ni metro train ń gbé, èló ló máa fi repo sí mọ́tò. Bẹ́ẹ̀ tí Nàìjíríà Olúwa o, Ọlọ́run o, kódà ẹni tí ò ní mọ́tò àfẹ́ nìkan kó ń pokùnso nípa ìlera tó máa rí. Bó bá wá ní mọ́tò ọ̀hún tó ń kọ́, bó ra mọ́tò tuntun wọ Nàìjíríà yìí ó lè gbádùn ẹjọ́ oṣù mẹ́fà lọ kó tó máa náwó lé. Why? Torí no good motorable road. Kí dẹ̀ ló fà? Corruption. Àwọn alájẹbánu ni. Until when we kill corruption in this country, corruption will never stop. And for any government to be trying to kill corruption, corruption will surely fight back. Ó là ń rí ẹ wo báwọn ọmọ ìlú ṣe wà. Oríṣiríṣiríṣiríṣi làwọn ará bí ìdánwò. Fàpẹẹrẹ wọ́n pe máa nǹkan ní orí program. Ó ṣàlàyé nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí rìfánárì wa from head to toe. I was shocked to my marrow nígbà tí mo wo fídíò yẹn. Ibi tára bí ìbá wa dé ni. Ó fẹ́ẹ̀ lè má sí sector tí àwọn ní corruption yóò kọwọ́ bọ̀. Àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ kan dẹ̀ lówó sí, àwọn ìdílé kan lówó sí. Àwa tá à lọ opportunity táwọn ìdílé yẹn ní, àwa ọlọ́màjì àkúṣẹ̀ àti jẹ́ wọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà ó di wàhálà. No any poverty alleviation programs tó tiẹ̀ lè alleviate problems àwọn èèyàn. No. Ìtó dẹ̀ wà náà ní jẹ́ kó tó wọn lọ́wọ́, ẹ máa kó náà ni. Ìròyìn ayọ̀ tó ga ni fún refineries wa láti ṣiṣẹ́. àwọn tí wọ́n rò pé bóyá kí ni ó ti irọ́ o kò sáyè ẹ̀ mọ́sẹ́ gbogbo tó jẹ́ subsidy fún wọn kò sí àyè ẹ̀ mọ́ rárá. ohun tó mò ń sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan òun náà ni pé àwọn alájẹbánu ni wọ́n bà gbogbo system yẹn jẹ́. Nigeria could have been the best tí ìbá work fún wa but unfortunately and mark you ìwà àjẹbánu àti ìwà dominance yìí náà ló fà á tọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ tó fẹ́ lọ fi sọ pé tí Ìgbò fi pariwo pé àwọn fẹ́ lọ tí Yorùbá fi sọ pé àwọn fẹ́ lọ kódà kì í sáwọn méjì nìkan àwọn middle belt náà sọ tiwọn because wọ́n ti rí pé unity yẹn àwọn kan ló kò pay àwọn kan ìran kan ló òkè nísìn Yorùbá débẹ̀ báyìí àti rí pé rìfánárì ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ ó wá kù tí Kaduna àtàwọn tó kù náà kan bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ lẹ́yìn tí Yorùbá bá lọ tán tó bá tún máa padà gbapò yẹn sí wọ́n á tún máa lù nígi báyìí wọ́n á tún máa lù nígi títí tó tún máa tún fi lù fọ́ lójú tọ́. àwọn èèyàn dẹ̀ wò pé lára òfò èèyàn lè máa ṣe nǹkan kó máa wéṣì ẹ̀ nígbà tó jẹ́ pé gbogbo ìgbà yìí lẹ máa fẹ́ dominate òun ló fà á táwọn èèyàn fi ń sọ gbogbo tó ṣe okay o instead káwọn máa jìyà for nothing let us kúkú share it. àwọn south ló ní Port Harcourt tí mi bá ṣì ikú ẹ̀ ní kú sarọ wíwà kú ikú petrol yìí náà ni gbà tó jẹ́ pé ó wò pé gbogbo ìyà tán fi ń jà wọn pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ náà àwọn ò rí kankan ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn dẹ̀ ni wọ́n ti ń kó wealth yẹn lọ. Yorùbá ń kọ́ kí ni wọ́n kó lẹ̀ Yorùbá mọ́yé bìbà tí wọ́n kó kúrò lẹ̀ Yorùbá wa ṣáwọn rìfà jáwọn kí náà pé àwọn sí ìwà ní ká sọ ni àbáwọn ship tán bá ti bí everyday ṣé owó tí wọ́n ń rí ní seaport wa ní ká sọ àbí ìtàn rí ní airport wa. Region kọ̀ọ̀kan lọ́lọ́mọ̀ dà nǹkan dùnú sí wọ́n tí gbà tẹ́ bá kó gbogbo ẹ̀dì sẹ́ńtà tó jẹ́ pé sílẹ̀ méjì lẹ́ máa fáwọn tó ṣiṣẹ́ àwọn tẹ́ kó nǹkan lọ́dọ̀ wọn àwọn tó ní nǹkan ní wọn tẹ́ máa wá da gbogbo tó kù tẹ́ máa dà sí region yín. That is why some people feel cheated and to even aggravate the case now insecurity láti ọ̀dọ̀ yín náà ni. Ara àwọn nǹkan táwọn èèyàn rò nìyẹn tó fi sọ pé okay the best thing is for us to get out. Àwọn tó tún wá bu petrol sí gan ó làwọn cabals àwọn olè alájẹbánu àwọn tó jẹ́ pé tó kàn wọ́n ò ní pé báwo ni àpò tàwọn ṣe máa kún báwo lè bí ó ṣe nípa family àwọn wọn kí ẹ̀ lórí báwo lè bí ó ṣe nípa Nigerians. Oríṣiríṣi allegiance láti rí alleged cases láti rí against wọn yìí bó tiẹ̀ tí n kò jẹ́ pé it has not yet been confirmed wọ́n allege wọn ni but behind every rumour there is always a single iota of truth behind every rumour tá a bá gbọ́ irọ́ ni wọ́n parọ́ mọ́ mi ni tí ìbá ṣe pé ó tiẹ̀ rìn ní bèbè ẹ̀ èmi ò rò pọ́n lè dédé parọ́ mọ́yàn ẹ wo tútẹ́mi efe lè fi pa part 2 tí mo ní màá sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí nìyẹn mo kọ́kọ́ wù mí kí n kọ́ fún wa ní good news yẹn náà kí n tó wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ chairman alájẹbánu Nigeria Limited emele ní ìtú tó ti pa ọ̀dọ́ wọn àlẹ́jẹ̀ náà sì ni kódà èyí tí wọ́n fi tì mọ́lé láti ọjọ́ yìí náà wọ́n sì àlẹ́jẹ̀ ni because it has not been proved beyond reasonable doubt in the court of law wípé òótọ́ ló ṣàwọn nǹkan yẹn bọ̀ àfi ká sọ nípa nǹkan tó àlẹ́jẹ̀ fún yẹn náà pé ṣó bójú mu gbogbo àwọn ẹ̀sùn tí wọ́n àlẹ́jẹ̀ fún tó fi kàn yìí àwọn ẹ̀sùn yìí strong o fàpẹẹrẹ ẹ jẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ látòrí number 1 tí mo fi pè ní chairman alájẹbánu Nigeria Limited last week àkọ́kọ́ rí kan kà pé Emefiele illegally kept funds in 593 US UK China account says probe panel ṣobojumu gbogbo newspapers ló gbé, in fact tabloid náà fi ṣe, front pages wọn ló wà. 593 different banks in 3 different countries across Europe, across United Kingdom, across China and across America. 593 different accounts. Àwọn owó tó dẹ̀ wá ń bẹ̀ ò ṣe owó kéékèèké, alleged wọ́n sì fẹ̀sùn ẹ̀kan ni tòró ti padà wá deny ẹ̀ pé irọ́ ni. A report by the Special Investigation Panel on the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) and related entities says Godwin Emefiele, the regulator ex-governor, illegally kept billions of naira in 593 bank accounts in the United States, United Kingdom and China. The panel led by Jim Obase, the special investigator, also said the Emefiele lodged 543,482,213 pounds in a fixed deposit in UK banks. In UK banks alone, without the approval of the Apex Bank's Board of Directors and the Investment Committee. Submitted to President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday, the panel in the third report of the special investigation on CBN and related entities, chargeable offences, said all the accounts have been traced. The former governor of CBN, Godwin Emefiele, invested Nigerian money without authorization in 593 foreign bank accounts in United States, China and United Kingdom while he was in charge document rates. All the accounts were the billions were lodged. Where the billions were lodged have all been traced by the investigator. According to the report, billions of naira were allegedly stolen. Allegedly. Wọ́n ṣe alleged ni until when it is proven beyond reasonable doubt in the court of law. Were allegedly stolen by Emefiele and other officials from the CBS account, including a fraudulent cash withdrawal of $6.23 million, about $2.9 billion at the then official exchange rate of 461 to $1. The panel also accused Emefiele of manipulating the exchange rate and perpetrating fraud in the e-Naira project of the CBN. But to our dismay, Emefiele came out and denied it. In fact, as a matter of fact, according to him and according to what we saw in Daily Trust, wọ́n ló ti gbé lọ́ọ̀yà ẹ̀ dìde pé kí lọ́ọ̀yà ẹ̀ kó sùn wọ́n sí court láti lè clear òun pé gbogbo rọ́tọ̀ ìrọ́ ni wọ́n Obase kò wá yé mi bóyá Emefiele àtọ̀bàṣe bóyá wọ́n ti jọ du ìyàwó rí tí Obase fi parọ́ mọ́ wọn àjọ máa sọ́gbà tán bá dé court torí pé ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ni Emefiele sues investigator denies opening 593 foreign accounts. A former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN), Godwin Emefiele, has described the report of the special investigator appointed by the President Bola Tinubu, a former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Godwin Emefiele has described the report of the special investigator appointed by President Bola Tinubu, which indicted him as a satanic, baseless, defamatory and false. Emefiele, in a statement on Sunday yẹn lánàá, said he had instructed his lawyers to immediately commence legal process to clear his name from the defamatory statement contained in the report. One of his lawyers, Maxwell Okpara, who released the statement on Daily Trust, confirmed that it was issued by embattled former CBN governor. The special investigator Jim Obase, in the document obtained by journalists, had, among other allegations, accused Emefiele of opening 593 foreign bank accounts without approval of either President Muhammadu Buhari or CBN Board of Directors. Definitely, tó bá lọ jó òótọ́ àwọn owó yẹn ó tọ́jú ẹ̀ pamọ́ síbẹ̀. In fact, as a matter of fact, àríkànbẹ̀ tán sọ pé fixed deposit ló fi sí. Fixed deposit. Is it on behalf of Nigeria or on behalf of himself? Still alleged. All these cases were allegedly against him. So wọ́n kàn ṣe fẹ̀sùn kàn ni. Òun náà dẹ̀ ti dá padà pé irọ́ ni. Ó wá kù sọ́wọ́ ìjọba láti bá wa proof ẹ̀ jáde. Because Nigerians are waiting. We want to know where this money belongs to, where they were kept. Ṣé lóòótọ́ ni àbó òótọ́ kọ́? Tabasha lárí tá à ń sọ. Tẹ́lẹ̀ bá lọ jóòtọ́, eléyìí tún worst Tabasha lọ. Máa mi tí ìdébẹ̀ yẹn má ìgbé yẹn sí i. Àrẹ mo mẹ́yẹ bọ̀ lápò ni. Tó bá jẹ́ pé òótọ́ ni, tẹ́lẹ̀ tún wá worst ju Tabasha lọ. Ẹ wo látijọ́ tí wọ́n ti gbé. Ẹ wo oríṣiríṣi atrocities tí wọ́n fi kàn alleged. Gbogbo ẹ̀ náà allegedly. Tí wọ́n sì fi kàn Jimoh bá ṣe ó máa hẹ́ẹ̀tì Emefiele gan o. Kí ló dé tó ń parọ́ tó báyìí mọ́? Ẹgbà tó bá yá àfojú ní gbogbo ẹ̀. Ẹni parọ́ àtẹ̀tọ́ parọ́ mọ́ á padà fojú hàn. Ẹ wo bí táwọn àwọn the so-called elite wa ẹ wo bí tán bá wa dé. Kì í ṣe mo tún sọ sẹ́ Nigeria is very 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 rich. Má sọ fún wọn ní UK ní US pé má halẹ̀ mọ́ wa ẹ má ṣàkọ mọ́ wa. We are very rich, we are richer than you. The only thing you have that we don't have is managers. Nigeria don't have very good managers. Ni good débi pa fẹ́ ní very. Ni good managers ni. Àwọn olè tó máa dówó wa kó là ní as leaders, as ministers, as senator, as House of Reps. Àwọn tá a máa fi sí House of Affairs owó wa, tá a máa fi sí administration owó wa, àwọn tó jẹ́ kó máa jí kó ni. À ń fẹ́ràn tó lógbò látijọ́ yìí ni. That is why we have never seen any infrastructural facilities being provided in this country. Tó bá jàjà provide ẹ̀ náà kò ní jọ́ original títí tí ò ní pẹ́ bàjẹ́ lẹ́ máa rí. Torí corruption yìí ni ẹni máa gba contract títí jáde títí tó yẹ kó ṣe ní 1,000 naira tó dẹ̀ gba contract 2,500 tí wọ́n ti gba 1,900 lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ ó kù 700 naira lọ́wọ́ tiẹ̀ náà òun náà yà ṣe títí 200 naira a kó 500 naira sápò ló bá parí gbọ́n máa tọ́dún kan títí àwú báyìí ni wọ́n máa tóṣù mẹ́fà sí abúdánù a máa wá di kòtò. Quality ń tàwa ṣe bí nìyẹn nítorí pé àwọn tó gbéṣẹ́ ẹ̀ jáde gan wọ́n ti jẹ 90%, wọ́n fi 10% tó kù lẹ́fún contractor òun náà yà mú 1% tá fi ṣe títì ayà kó gbó 9% tó kù sápò. Yes now yóò bá rí tẹnu bá jẹ ojú àti àwọn tó yẹ kán arrest contractor nílé arrest ẹ̀ torí pé àwọn ti jẹ 90 already. That is where our problem lies. Ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ nígbà tí Tinubu wọlé wa ministers ẹ̀ bí wọ́n ṣe ń accuse àwọn contractors tó wà nílẹ̀ wọ́n á ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn bẹ́ẹ̀ ta ló fẹ́ mú wọn ibi tó ti gbaṣẹ́ yẹn jáde wọ́n ti gbowó lọ́wọ́ wọn àwọn yàrá àfi kankan ju títì lójú wọn sá lọ àwa mẹ̀kúnnù àmọ́ àwa jìyà ẹ lọ gbogbo ọ̀nà Abẹ́òkúta sí Ṣàngó ó di kẹ́bẹ̀ sí ni máa kó sínú omi kó sínú títì sínú kòtò kiri. Ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ tẹ́ wà lábúrọ̀dù ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe nìyẹn tí ó kọ́ tó fà á nìyẹn tó fi jẹ́ pé ìlú yóò ní ẹni headway. Tí Emefiele la tún rí yìí o tí Desiani la kọ́ gbọ́ lọ àti kọ́ gbọ́ Tabasha tẹ́lẹ̀ akọrin Desiani láyé Goodluck ayé Buhari la tó ti ń kọrin Emefiele yìí. Gbogbo wọn dẹ̀ máa ń ní cohort wọ́n máa ń láwọn àwọn tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n jọ perpetuate the Federal Act yẹn wọ́n máa ń ní wọn lọ́wọ́ wọ́n á jọ lẹ̀dí àpòpọ̀ máa bá ti Nàìjíríà jẹ́ ni. Kí ló dé tó jẹ́ pé we are very very unfortunate in this country. Why is it like that? That Nigeria is very unfortunate. Kò ní good manager rí. Àfàwọn tó máa jẹ owó yẹn tó máa nọ́nà kùnà. When Buhari came on board, we are all jubilating. hoping that his own government will be totally different from others. We can now see it clearly why táwọn èèyàn fi sọ pé Africa pé. You can all see it clearly. Ìdí nìyí náà gbà tí mẹ́kúnnù rí pé àwọn kan sọ tax ọkọ̀ gba tax lọ́wọ́ àwọn ni the taxpayers money báwọn náà ṣe ń ná no any stewardship for it no civil stewardship. Ìyẹn tún kéré àtúgbọ́ mi ò tọ́nọ́dá another one kan tún lè mi efele tó ṣe to my dismay mo gbọ́ yẹn láàárọ̀ yìí and I was shocked nígbà tí mo gbọ́ yẹn jẹ́ kí ló tún ṣẹlẹ̀ o nọba tún sọ pé àwọn banks kan wà táwa ń rí tá a rò pé banks àṣọ níbọ̀dá mi Emefiele ló tún ní tó nígbà mo wá gbọ́ yorí mi wá tàn náà lẹ́gàn pé tó ẹ wá dúró o kí lẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wa f'Emefiele gan-an ná kí la ṣe fún un kí ló dé gan-an ẹ ṣe oh God ọmọ Yíbò kìíní ọmọ Yíbò kejì so kájẹ sọ pé Obi ló jẹ president sí bóyá yẹn ẹ má jẹ lọbẹ torí inú á bí àwọn obedient inú á tún bí wọn sí. Federal government to take over Union Bank, Keystone Bank alleged owned by Emefiele. Union Bank and Keystone Bank ṣé Keystone náà pè é dà pé Keystone Union Bank Keystone kódà wọ́n tún ní Polaris náà wà ńbẹ̀ pàápàá. Federal government said it will take possession of 2 banks that were allegedly bought at a major discount by former Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele according to a report by a special investigator appointed by President Bola Tinubu. The same Obasi ló tún wélé síta ṣé ẹ rí Obasi yẹn ṣó ara ẹ̀ ó dà pé ó hètì Emefiele gan kọ́kọ́ jọ wà láàrin wọn torí Emefiele náà máa tó jáde wá dìnnà ilé atúnirọ́ ni. I am not here to judge but I am an umpire. I cross my fingers and I'm watching. I want to know the outcome of it. tó bá tó gbá àwọn lọ́yẹ̀ náà dìde pé kán tó wá sùn máa yẹn sí kóòtù lórí eléyìí náà. I don't know what is really happens to us in this country. A single soul á dẹ̀ díjú á gbá ìlú yìí tó báyìí á dẹ̀ kí ẹ̀ kí ló kọ̀ wá ṣèbí Nàìjíríà ni. mo tún sọ pé ẹnìkan ṣo táṣìírí ẹ̀ tí ìtúlẹ̀ lẹ́yìn ẹ jẹ́ kí wọ́n lọ wo Boss Mustapha ẹ jẹ́ kán lọ wo gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n bá Buhari ṣèjọba kẹ́wọ́ kí ló fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ then àwọn olóṣèlú náà tá gbọ́ káàkiri lẹ́nìí tó ń ṣe champion go and look at them ẹ lọ investigate wọn kódà afẹ́ ẹ̀yọ àdá pé ká lọ́ọ́ máa bẹ́ gbogbo wọn lórí ìdí gbogbo wọn rún o every one of them ló láṣẹ pamọ́ síta àṣegbé kan ò dẹ̀ sí o àṣepamọ́ ló wà èyí táṣìírí òtù láyé á padà tú nígbà tó bá fẹ́ lọ ìyẹn dá mi lójú. We have completed our investigation on this acquisition and we are on the verge of recovering these 2 banks for the federal government, the report said. Emefiele was suspended shortly after Tinubu took over. The Nigerian leader subsequently ordered an investigation into the monetary authorities operations and instructed it to work with security and anti-corruption agencies. Emefiele met his bail conditions and was released on Saturday. Punch newspaper reported, citing a correctional spokesperson. The former central banker acquired 2 banks, including Union Bank of Nigeria and Keystone Bank, through several proxies from ill-gotten wealth and without evidence of payment, according to the report by Jim Obaze, submitted to the president and seen by Bloomberg. A preliminary review of the cases showed that Keystone was acquired for free. According to Keystone Bank náà ni Keystone Bank was acquired for free According to the report, some persons were used as proxies with the connivance and assistance of Godwin Emefiele and the CBN to acquire the two banks. Emefiele had denied wrongdoing. Denial no lumagbe. His lawyers declined to comment on the investigation's finding, and a government spokesman did not immediately respond to a request seeking comment. So definitely, Obaze, a lè ọlọ, àkílódé, ọ̀pẹ̀ mẹ́lẹ́mẹ́mẹ́ fi èlèlè máa lọ ni, ó sì á lè tó báhùn. Ìbàdàn fẹ́ fi báyìí sọ̀rọ̀ lé ní Obaze, ó sì á lè tó báhùn. Ṣé wà àti Emefiele ṣé ẹjọ́ dùyàwó ni àbí bó wà ní? Ó sì á lè tó báhùn tọ́mọ parọ́ mẹ́mẹ́fẹ́lẹ̀. Ó nìkan náà lọ ní 593 banks, ó nìkan account, ó nìkan náà ló tún ti ní báǹkì méjì ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ tí ọ̀sán kọ́bọ̀ tó sì gbà wọ́n àṣẹ Keystone Bank, Polaris àgbọ̀n pa Polaris ọkọ̀ ya Polaris sí ni Keystone àti báǹkì wo àti Union Bank, àwọn méjìlá gbọ́n pa èyí o tí wọ́n sọ pé wọ́n tún ti indict Emefiele bóun ló tún acquire àwọn for free. Àwa rán àwọn kan lọ jáṣojú, àrùn àwọn kan lọ jẹ́ pà àwọn náà máa sáìn pé aráàsòwò ló wà lábẹ́lẹ̀, ìròmí tó ń jó onílù ẹ̀ wà lábẹ́ omi, àná onílù ẹ̀ a gbọ́ pé Emefiele. So kí ni ká ṣe? Nigerians, ibi àtún ti bára wa rè, ibi àtún já sí rè, àwọn alájẹbánu tún ti bayé jẹ́, wọ́n tún ti bọ̀rún jẹ́. Ẹjẹ́ drama tó ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí a máa wò títí náà ní tá fi já síbì kan, a wò títí báyìí tá fi já síbì kan. Ohun tó dé mi lójú ni pé tí nǹkan bá tó mọ̀ máa mọ̀ ni, ilẹ̀kẹ̀ má já síbì kan tó bá yá at the end of the day a padà rójútu ọ̀rọ̀. And let us cross our fingers and let us be watching. I know for sure a padà ríbi tí ó padà já sí. Ọlọ́run á ṣe dáadáa fún wa. Ẹ jẹ́ n fi wálẹ̀ pẹ̀lú tó ṣẹlẹ̀ nípa refinery wa, kí làwọn tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wò kí fi wálẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ láyọ̀.
There is no need. You better import. You need to remove subsidy, because even if you import, even if you have your refineries, the amount you are going to save per liter may be just like 10 naira. And I said, oh, so there will even be savings if we refine internally. He said, it may be 10 naira. Then I said, okay, sir, with due respect to you, we were told that we import a minimum of 50 million liters per day. So if we are refining internally, every day we will be saving 10 naira multiplied by 50 million. Multiply the savings by 1 week. Multiply the savings by 1 month. Multiply the savings by 1 year. That was what brought the whole discussion and conference to an end. And so if you look at it, somehow, somewhere, honestly, we had some people, because all these things were happening with the connivance of Nigerians. So to me, those Nigerians can best be described as Nigerians that were morally insolvent and we are suffering from moral bankruptcy. So the vision of the leaders that we have now, I pray it is sustained on the right track.
All right, comrade. Now, before we run out of time, for better understanding and to help us perhaps internalize the significance of this, how significant will it be for Nigeria to have the 4 refineries working?
Look, if Nigeria has the 4 refineries working, the first thing that is going to happen is this. Everything about Forex, knowing that we have a weak currency, knowing that we have a prostrate economy, everything about that will be waged. All the monies, you imagine a country where you have a very weak currency that is not an international currency, and you are struggling to go and get distillates on products that you have. And the worst one, while this were happening again, we had that our naira was floated. Is it not strange that fellow citizens will be taking advantage of either vulnerabilities of their leaders to tell them their internal currency was overvalued? It's just like you are a first-class material, or you are an A student. Then some people within your family will be telling you, no, you are an F student.
Ẹgbọ́n kan tí màá yẹ sọ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ refinery wa. Listen to him.
Staying with us. Now let's get
hijacked, because you're talking about a country that constructed the last refinery around 1989 or 1990. From 1990 to now 2023, you're talking about 33 years. The next generation of Nigerian leaders in the 90s to now didn't deem it fit to maintain the refineries that they inherited. And they didn't even consider it necessary to construct new ones. Did we require anybody to tell us that we're going to run into energy crisis? We didn't. And the worst one was when we went into democracy in 1999. Some of us were optimistic. And you're talking about 24 years. Even if it will take 10 years to construct a refinery, you should expect us to be having 2 clean refineries, but nothing. And you're talking about a country of more than 200 million citizens relying on less than 10,000 megawatts of electricity. We didn't need anybody to tell us that our strategic industrial sectors, strategic domestic sectors, and strategic commercial sectors were going to suffer. You are also talking about a country that has more than 100 universities, a country that has more than 100 polytechnics, and you're talking about basic chemistry of refining, and it was difficult. Looking at our reserve, proved reserve of crude oil and proved reserve of gas, and Nigeria was reduced to a country of melancholies. Nigeria was reduced to an importing nation. There is, for somebody like me, all I can tell you is that I am happy that finally Nigeria has come back from economic prodigalism, and we are on the right track. And congratulations to whoever. I want to believe that now I can say we probably have visionary leaders. I'm not saying they are perfect, but at least the fact that we are back on track makes me happy. The fact that we had people I can best describe as economic vampires, economic marauders, and economic traitors. In fact, quote me that I said they were economic rascals that decided to hold our vulnerable leaders and could not allow us to carry out basic refining to provide distillates for ourselves. Let me tell you, for me, this is probably the joyous moment in my life. Absolutely. As an oil and gas practitioner.
Right, so the federal government says the refined petroleum product would start flowing from the refinery after the Christmas break. What impact do you think this will make in the sector?
First of all, even if it will start flowing in Q1 or Q2 of next year, I don't really bother. The fact that we are right on track. As I speak to you right now, yesterday in an area called Rumokoro in Port Harcourt, first of all, remember that when you talk about oil and gas engineers, oil and gas lawyers, oil and gas accountants, oil and gas journalists, oil and gas environmentalists, you have many of them in Port Harcourt. You have so many of them in Lagos. In fact, yesterday, we lost a seasoned petroleum engineer of more than 3 decades experience by name Engineer Boniface Ofojua. The service of song held yesterday around a place called Rumokoro in Port Harcourt. Those were the things we were discussing. And we were asking. In fact, at a point, we came up with scenarios. Just imagine a situation where there were countries, there were refineries offshore. And every day when you go to those refineries offshore, they will be telling their workers that you need to produce 20 or 30 million liters of petrol every day. Keep the refineries working because you need to send it to a country and a customer called Nigeria. Imagine how sickening it was to some of us that there were refineries somewhere where they will be telling their citizens and their workers that you must work, even when in Nigeria we say overtime, to produce so million liters of petrol, so million liters of diesel, so million liters of aviation fuel or kerosene, because there is a standing customer called Nigeria. So if Nigeria can pull itself back, and that was why some of us said everything about the economic security was on the wrong track. But with what has happened now, you can practically see that there will be light at the end of the tunnel. Before now, we were not even seeing the tunnel. Because You don't need anybody to tell you that strategic industrial sectors have been suffering. Strategic domestic sectors have been suffering. And strategic commercial sectors have been suffering. Nobody will hide the truth from you that multinational corporations have been exiting Nigeria. That was happening because of energy security. And when that was happening and anybody tells you that investors will come in, that person was going to be telling you lies. But with this now, at least energy costs will come down. And that is why, like you asked, what does it feel like? At least psychologically, I want to believe that some of the multinational corporations that are planning to exit Nigeria were planning to do that because of energy cost, because it was affecting what we technically call their bottom line. If you talk about insecurity, there is insecurity virtually everywhere. It's just the magnitude that was different. But the energy cost was becoming prohibitive. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them that have even announced their exit from Nigeria will now have a rethink and say, let's give Nigeria probably till Q1 or Q2 of 2024 to see what will happen to our energy cost.
Right. So now that this refinery has been revived, what's your hope of having the other refineries, 3 others working?
Well, you see, one thing about being on the wrong track is this. If you're on the wrong track, it doesn't matter how far you've gone, you are likely to end up in the evil forest. And when you are moving into the evil forest, it doesn't mean that you will not see green vegetations. It doesn't mean that you will not see sweet fruits. But there is a reason why it is called an evil forest. But if you calibrate your strategies, especially in this context, economic strategies, and you come back and you want to start the journey, I'm not too much bothered about the race now. Because we have been in the economic wilderness for a very long time as far as the oil and gas industry is concerned. If now we are going to be on the right track, the key thing is let's take it easy. The only thing I can say is shame to those guys that used to say Nigerian refineries were obsolete. Shame to those guys that were saying we could not revive our refineries. Because at a point, they were able to take advantage of our vulnerable leaders. And they blocked them, they hijacked them. They gave the impression that all our refineries have been stripped, all our refineries have been vandalized, even though some of us were pointing out that there were 100 years refineries that were working. So it's not the speed now that I'm bothered about. I'm happy that we are on the path to economic recovery. And once that starts, we're talking about oil now and the refinery. That simply means we're likely to get enough distillates. Let's take care of our internalities. And if we're able to get enough distillates, do you know what that will do? That will, first of all, halt everything about Forex. All the Forex we've been expending, that will halt it. And if you start saving, the most important thing, you are on the right track. And some people before now, when they came with satanic arguments to justify why our refineries were not going to bounce back. They came up with all kinds of reasons, you know. But the good thing that they will say, no, you need to require spare parts, it's expensive. And we were telling them that every country requires spare parts. In fact, I was involved with a multinational body, a finance body, where an expert that I expected was going to be sympathetic to Nigeria as an emerging economy. Family will be telling you, no, you are an F student. Go back to class F or E. Instead of knowing that you are already occupying an A position, what they should do is to encourage you to know what you were doing. If you were careless, you need to fix it so that you remain an A student. So when you look at that, what will happen? First of all, there will be sufficiency in terms of distillates. And the next thing that you are going to see is this. You are going to see what we call aggregate mobility of economic activities. The Baba will now be self-sufficient. There is every likelihood that prices must come down. The vulcanizer that will go and buy 10 liters at 6,000 or 7,000 now and will not be able to break even, will start breaking even. You know, you go to so many hospitals now. A hospital that is supposed to have probably 50 patients. Do you know, even if they have 10 patients, they must run generator all through the night at the cost of diesel or petrol. So when you look at it, so much will happen. And many of the companies that cannot survive or do well, it was because of energy cost. But the good thing that will happen now, before you know, we will be those supplying to the West African sub-region. Do you know what it will mean for us to have pipelines across the West African sub-region? And we are those supplying diesel, petrol, kerosene, LPG. Before you know, we will have our engineers in those countries. We will have our carpenters in those countries. We will have our accountants and the rest. And that will make us to have what we call regional economic control. And by extension, we will have continental economic control.
All right. So with the Dangote refinery also commencing operations soon, do you see these two refineries solving our petrol problems, especially price stability?
Well, as far as volume stability is concerned, yes. But when you talk about price, to me, I like being conscious. The good thing is this. Dangote refinery is a corporate entity. When you talk about entities or citizens, you have individual citizens and you have corporate citizens. It is the entity that takes care of everybody is the government. Government is supposed to provide goods and services so that individual citizens and corporate citizens will thrive. So for me, yes, Dangote is a private initiative, but the benefit or the objective of a private initiative principally is to maximize profit and to minimize costs. Because when you talk about a private initiative, first of all, did you ask where he or she got the funds from? If they got the funds from shareholders, they must pay dividend. The only way they can pay dividend is by remaining profitable and maximizing profit. And if they got the loans from other financial institutions, they must pay the debts and the cost of debt. But as a corporate citizen within Nigeria, I will expect Dangote management to sell their crude oil, do so much, and comply with their civic responsibilities of paying taxes and levies. Definitely, as far as supply gaps will be concerned, Dangote will help in bridging that. But fundamentally, I am more interested in the responsibility of those that we have handed over our economic, political, and social destinies into their care, and that is the government. So if the government-owned refineries come on, all we need to do is to institute discipline, because we have government-owned refineries in Saudi Arabia. In the days of Gaddafi, Libyan government-owned refineries were working. They work in Iran, they work in Iraq, they work in Qatar, they work in Malaysia, Norway, and the rest. So what we need to do now is to, first of all, appreciate the little effort and hope that we are going to remain on track. Absolutely. But government should make the environment conducive for both individual and corporate citizens like Dangote's. And if Dangote succeed in refining, why not? We will need more Dangotes in petrochemicals. We will need more Dangotes in health. We will need more Dangotes in food processing. But government is the principal factor or the principal entity to make the environment comfortable for individual and corporate citizens like Dangote.
All right, comrade, before I let you go, I want you to react to Melekari's statement. He says workers put in about 9.6 million man-hours to get the refinery back on stream. What does this tell us about the level of decay before this intervention?
Well, it's not the level of decay that I'm interested in now. It's the level of dedication. You're talking about 30 years of obsolescence, 30 years of decadence from the leaders that took over. They didn't deem it necessary to maintain the refineries they inherited. They didn't deem it necessary to construct new ones. So what Melekari was talking was you expect that level and volume of manpower to be put in if you truly want to get the best. And I want to believe that they did well. And congratulations to them and congratulations to Nigeria.
All right, so finally, the rehabilitation cost of $1.5 billion. Will the benefits outweigh this cost?
Look, people don't know what the oil and gas industry does to the global community. And when I hear people saying we are going green, we need to energy transition, I ask, in this studio, check. Virtually everything is plastic. All the cables you are seeing here, what are they? Are they not products of crude oil refining? When you talk about products, were they not? When you even say roads, the coal tar, the tires and everything, if you go to cars and everything, the chairs and everything here, they are all products of crude oil refining. So there is so much. This is when we shall now start analyzing what GDP is all about. As far as the oil and gas industry is concerned, when we start seeing the derivatives, when we start seeing the practical crystallization of having this crude oil into products that are viable, we will now start knowing the meaning of GDP. And we're just talking about crude oil. Very soon we will need to talk about gas. Do you know from gas, natural gas alone, you will get ammonia. From ammonia, you will get urea. From urea, you will get fertilizer. That will take care of food security. From natural gas alone, right? From only natural gas, you will drive gas turbines and generate electricity. So who says Nigeria will not come back from that melancholic country to a country that will be the continental hub for Africa? Nigeria has everything. We were only hijacked. And it is, I'm happy that those economic rascals have been thrown off because they really held us. In the last 3 decades, they truly held us. So congratulations to our current generation of leaders, and congratulations to all those who are lovers and friends of Nigeria. And
congratulations to all of us. I mean, absolutely, this is definitely a good sign for our country
100%.
as we go into the year 2024 on a very bright note.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Comrade, for coming on Politics Tonight.
Thank
I've been speaking with an oil and gas analyst, Balaza.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations, my friend. Well done. Good job. Good job. Good job. I need congratulations. 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 Congratulations, my friend. Well done. Good job. Good job. Good job. I need congratulations.
BGI TV yìí mo fẹ́ máa wò, ọ̀rọ̀ tó jẹ ti ń gbèsè mo fẹ́ gbọ́, ètò lóríṣiríṣi wọ́n wà lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan, ìròyìn tó kojú òṣùwọ̀n àtàwọn ọ̀rọ̀ àgbọ́ fi kọ́gbọ́n, eré wọlé fún tẹ̀rù tọmọ tèwe tàgbà ẹ má fi para. BGI TV yìí mo fẹ́ máa wò, ọ̀rọ̀ tó jẹ ti ń gbèsè mo fẹ́ gbọ́, ètò lóríṣiríṣi wọ́n wà lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan, ìròyìn tó kojú òṣùwọ̀n àtàwọn ọ̀rọ̀ àgbọ́ fi kọ́gbọ́n, eré wọlé fún tẹ̀rù tọmọ tèwe tàgbà ẹ má fi para. Àjànàkú kọjá mórí nǹkan fèrè, bàbá rere káwí parí. BGI TV, we are the pace setter. Bàbá gbàgede ìmọ̀ tẹlifíṣọ̀n station tí dòde.